Yo, this is Delusional. New video on pertaining the new tricks that Yoshimitsu can do in Tekken 8. I have a notepad here that has all of the new things that he can do now in Tekken 8, as well as some of the frame data pertaining to the moves in Tekken 7 to Tekken 8 and what in between them. So let's go through here. If you want to see the overall moves, I will be placing them into the video. Each particular move that I announce, the changes to them, that will be onto the clip from a separate video that I basically recorded from somebody else's channel. I will place their description for their video onto my channel, so that way you'll be able to see it for yourselves and then see exactly what you can then take on from his own video. Okay, so there's that. All right, let's get to it. 2-2 is +5 on hit in Tekken 7, right? In Tekken 8, they've now changed the ender of the 2-2, which now has a new animation, and now it's +15. Which is crazy to me why they decided to change that, which is a big plus. But what this might mean is that is 2-2 a true combo now in Tekken 8? That is the question there. It might be still a counter hitting true combo, but on target, if you're hitting him without counter hitting, will that still be a true combo? So I'm not too sure why it's +15, but this gives me the impression that the move itself is no longer a true combo if it's not counter hitting. From what I know, 2-3, it no longer bounds. Just like in Tekken 7, it bounds the target, it screws him into a bound. But in Tekken 8, Yoshimitsu doesn't have that bound anymore. He now has new bounds that he can do from new strings and so on. His 3 attack, right, now has a new follow-up string that can heat engage or can also put him into Dragonfly stance while utilizing it. A new type of 3 follow-up string is 3-2 1+2. Now, I do not know whether or not if the move itself is a full combo or if it's only a combo on counter hit. A big nerf to one of his well-known moves. Flash is +22 in Tekken 7 and it crumple states for a launch. Tekken 8, in the other hand, it no longer launches into a crumple state. And it's not +22, instead now it's +14 on hit. Meaning that if you want to go for anything while the opponent has been, I guess in this case, caught by flash, which instead of crumple stating them and now kind of puts them like kneeling down, or in a sense that they're full crouched, well, +14. So at the most what you can get out of this is back to 2, which also now has a new change where it heat engages instead of just placing the opponent into a knockdown state. Now we don't know if you don't have heat or if you're already in heat, if it still knocks down. So that's the one thing I do not know. Or you can also try going for down forward 1-4. Since this move is 13 frames, you can probably still go for that. Now instead, while in North Sword stance, which you do in Tekken 7 by pressing 2+3, or if you macro your button, this also practically changed in Tekken 8, where instead of doing 2+3 to go into North Sword stance, now you do it from pressing back 1+2. Either way, Flash in North Sword stance still crumple states the opponent in Tekken 7 and in Tekken 8. So it's still launchable. But in Tekken 7, it's plus 29. But in Tekken 8, it's plus 66. So this basically means that you may have new routes you can go by in terms of going for combos with Yoshimitsu in Tekken 8. Forward 2 now has a follow-up string. Forward 2-1. The move itself kind of gives you a bit of wall carry, but it also bounds. So depending on how you go by the combo, let's say if you go for two forward 2-1s, you may get a little bit more wall carry, but that depends how the combo goes. But if not, it bounds on the last hit. Just like 2-3, forward 3 no longer screws. It no longer bounds. But it's still a homing move. Forward 4 no longer wall splats or wall bounces in Tekken 8. Instead, now it just gives you what I like to call a floor scrape. Tekken 7 Yoshimitsu's forward 1+2, as you already know, is plus 16 on hit. But in Tekken 8, Yoshimitsu has a new animation for this move, which I prefer a whole lot more than in Tekken 7. And it's plus 17 on hit. And not only that, it heat engages. And if you're already in heat from, let's say, from the move, it now heat dashes in moves. Yoshimitsu's down forward 1-2 follow-up, right? Now has a new string follow-up, which is down forward 1-2-1. It also launches the enemy as well. Though I'm not too certain whether or not if the move itself, if let's say if you were to go for the last hit and then press 1, and it counter hits the opponent, I'm not too sure if that still bounds. So CD1 now has a simplified command input that you can use by simply pressing down forward 1+4. Now, you can still do the normal commands of CD1, but I'm not too certain whether or not if both versions have the same frames. Because from what I know, CD1 in Tekken 7 is 17 to 18 frames on startup. But the one showcased in the video is 20 to 21 frames. But what they showcased in the video was the simplified version of the command being used to open up CD1, essentially. So I don't know if the frames are different for the simplified version or for the normal command input version. So there's that. Same can be said for CD2. Also has a simplified command input you can use by simply pressing down forward 2+3. But again, in Tekken 7, it's 14 to 15 frames, but in Tekken 8, it's 17 to 18 frames on startup. So again, same thing. Do not know whether or not if the simplified version of the command makes it so that the frame data is different from the regular command input that you can use. Yoshimitsu now has a new down to 2 string where he does another 2, and now that particular move launches the opponent. Yoshimitsu's down forward 1+2 into 2 can now be done in Tekken 8 by simply doing down back 1-2. This, in my opinion, is by far one of the biggest other changes that they have done to Yoshimitsu, where you no longer have to worry about making mistakes when performing down forward 1+2 into 2 to getting your attack to basically proc. Because I know for certain, for those Yoshimitsu players that have started out playing this character, that if you're in rage, you might accidentally go and use up your rage drive. Or there's a chance that you may end up, let's say, doing CD2 instead of actually going into down forward 1+2 because of the buffering when you're moving forward. So there's that. As I already showcased the new command input that he has for 3-1 1+2, you can also go and use the last finisher move from that string by simply just doing up back 1+2. But unlike in Tekken 7, up back 1+2 is essentially his unblockable, which they now changed. This is a little bit of a nitpick. Up 3+4 is plus 28 on hit, or 27 on hit if you're close enough. But now in Tekken 8, it's 24 frames on hit. So I don't know if this is actually a big problem or not. I'm pretty sure you can still launch the opponent from up 3+4. So I don't think it's a big problem. I don't think it's a huge nerf. It's a weird nerf, but it's still there. His up forward 3+4 into 3+4, which is his kangaroo kick, now bounds if you were to, let's say, land the up forward 3+4 into 3+4. Which can also be said about his 4-4, 3+4, 1+2, 3+4, also launches. So this is a huge change to his kit now. You can now combo from his kangaroo kick from other attacks. Of course, you can still do kangaroo kick normally, and it will still launch up in the air, so you don't have to worry about that. Another particular egregious change that they done to Yoshimitsu, which I don't really like, unless it has some kind of properties that would be really cool to do with this move. I don't see why they basically changed this, and it's basically Curse Circle Forward 1, Moonsault Slayer. It no longer is an unblockable. I do not know why they changed this. So you can't really use this in the neutral if, let's say, you want to like confuse the opponent and get an unblockable hit, or in some setups you can try going for Curse Circle Forward 1 and catch them off guard with that as well. But if they are blocking, they'll block this move now. Instead, now the move just gives you a face down knockdown state against the opponent. That's all. He has a new type, a wall running 3. Has a new animation, and it also can go into Dragonfly stance if you were to use it. You have the choice to also go into it or not, but you know, it has that option. Just like forward 2 into your new string, as well as down forward 1-2 into your new string, you can also do it from while standing 1-2 into 1. Can also bound. A big nerf to one of his more iconic moves into his kit is that his sword sweep, it no longer gives you a small launch, it now goes immediately into a bound. This is a big nerf, which I'm pretty sure this is the same case for every other character that has a similar type of snake edge type move that they can go into. Weirdly enough, when he goes into his backward stance, when you cancel out of meditation, if you were to press back 1+2, you can go into your no sword stance. You can't do it in Tekken 7 because this happens instead. And there is a way you can go into no sword stance while facing away, but it's a little difficult. Ken forward 1, which is his low attack from Kencho, is no longer the same command. Now it's Ken into down 1. Instead, they changed it to where if you were to go into Kencho and do forward 1, he has a new type of move, which is very reminiscent of Soul Calibur 6 Yoshimitsu's move, which if I remember correctly is 2B. This is his new wall finisher combo that I can remember. Cannon to forward 2. Now heat engages. Now, I'm not certain, again, if you're out of heat, if you don't have heat anymore, or if you're already in heat, that the move will still knocks down the opponent from, their position. Another cool change they have done to Yoshimitsu in Tekken 8 is that in Indian stance, he can now go into 3+4, which is basically this. Actually, not 3+4. Sorry. Slide or piano, the way you want to call it, into 3-4. You can now do it in Indian stance, which also means he can also go into Dragonfly stance if you were to use that move. Another nerf to his moveset is that in no sword stance, if you were to go into full crouch into 3, down forward 3, it now bounds immediately. Instead of like in this case, he can just get semi-launched into a full combo. His Dragonfly stance 2, which is that move, now has a follow-up, which is Dragonfly stance into 2-4, which usually will be this move you would tend to use to go for the bound in Tekken 7, now has a new follow-up you can just use instead to bound the target. Instead, his Dragonfly stance into 4 now heat engages. A cool thing, though, that they've done is that this move, if the enemy is in the air, it will do like a full spin type of CC. I don't know the actual name for it, but you've already seen it in a couple of times in trailers or in other combo videos where, let's say you do an attack and they're in the air and you hit them with a type of kick or punch, whatever the case is, and they'll do this like very fast spin in the air that gives them like a little bit of more leeway into picking them up and doing a combo right after. He has a new type of Dragonfly stance attack where he goes and presses forward 1+2. This is very reminiscent of another move in particular that Yoshimitsu has in Soul Calibur 6. And it's now homing, and in heat state, it gathers health. Dragonfly stance 1 is still the same, just like in Tekken 7, but with a new added addition to where if the enemy were to attack you, it counter hits launches them. So that's new. And in heat state, you gather health while you're using it while in heat state. And the last particular move that I'm going to be showcasing in this video is that his command grab, which is quarter circle back 1+2, has now been changed to up forward 1+2. To me, this is by far the biggest change for his command grab, because this means that it's a lot easier to perform his rainbow drop. And if you have seen my videos or have seen other people's videos, or let's say compilations of, bloopers and whatnot, trying to go for quarter circle back 1+2 while you're in rage might accidentally proc your back 1+2 rage art in Tekken 7. And since now they've universally changed how rage arts are used, and essentially a lot of Yoshimitsu's moves now, you can now do his rainbow drop from up forward 1+2. So this is a big overall buff to his kit, I feel. So yeah, that's about it really. There really isn't anything else that I can really tell that has changed with Yoshimitsu. There's of course other little small quality of life changes that he has in his kit that I haven't mentioned in the video. You can look it up for yourself. I'll place the video into my description, so that way you'll be able to go to this person's channel and then see the video for yourselves and see exactly the other small changes that they have done to Yoshimitsu. but these are the ones that I've showcased that are the biggest overall changes to his kit that I liked. And funny enough, I don't understand why they've essentially given the well-known influencers of the Tekken community to have play tested the new update of the game with the new characters involved, and allowing them to showcase the move sets for the characters before the trailers have been already released. Now, this video is going to be up, let's say, like today, either during the night or the next day after, which the trailer has already been showcased for Yoshimitsu. So, this means that if you've already seen the Yoshimitsu trailer today, which is the December 13th of 2023, then you may not even, assume that this video was out already a couple of days ago. So yeah, I don't understand why Bandai Namco is essentially showing this. Again, I'm just basically rambling here. But yeah, this is the new movesets that Yoshimitsu basically has. I will also showcase the trailer in this same video as well. So enjoy.
Ready for the next battle! Tekken 8! New Challenger!